Welcome to the next session. Today, we will try to understand the evolution of strategic management, which would compromise the history of strategic management. Learning outcomes of today's video are we'll try to consider how strategy is developed in the ancient times and the concept related to what is military strategy and its insight to business. Similarly, it will also try to describe how strategic management has evolved into the field of study. That means we will try to cover the evolution of strategic management in four basic parts. The first part we will try to understand strategy in ancient times. Then we'll look at second point, that is military strategy. Third, we will try to look into how strategic management as a subject has evolved. Then we'll look to the international context of strategic management. And the end, we will conclude with strategic management being involved on the Indian soils. Let us look at the first concept, as I told, strategy in ancient times. Dear students, strategic management borrows many ideas from ancient uses of strategy over time. The following anecdotes provide a few notable actions of historical actions that remain relevant for the study of modern strategy. Indeed, the Greek verb strategios means army leader, and the idea of stratego, from which we get the word strategy, refers to the idea of destroying one's enemy through the effective use of resources. If you look at the first point which we try to understand is talking about the year 1491 BC. Here Moses uses hierarchical delegation of authority during the exodus from Egypt, dividing a large set of people into smaller groups and creates a command structure that enables strategy to be implemented. In present context, let me take few words from the 1491 BC. Hierarchical delegation of authority. Point number 1, creating smaller group and giving command structure that enabled the strategy to be implemented. In present context, the demands of strategic management today are simply too much for a chief executive officer, the top leader of the company, to handle alone. Many tasks are thus entrusted to vice president and other executives. In case of 1491, a hierarchical structure was discussed, and today we see this structure in present context. You have a CEO, that is Chief Executive Officer, who is the topmost in the hierarchical structure of an organization. Then the task is delegated to Vice President. Below that, you have General Manager, various operations. General Manager, operation, marketing, finance, and they report to the Vice President, which report to the Vice President, and Vice President finally report to the Chief Executive Officer. This is how 1491 the concept is seen today in the present context. Similarly, if you look at the second point in the year 500 BC, point number 2, Sun Tzu's The Art of War provides a classic handbook on military strategy with numerous business applications such as idea to win without fighting is best. This type of approach was used by businesses in the world when they decided to, for example, a company called as Gap Inc., when they decided to create their own store rather than competing for the shelf space for their clothing within the traditional department stores. In the present context, one of the Sun Tzu's ideas that numerous business application is that winning a battle without fighting is the best way to win. Apple's behavior in personal computer business offers a good example of this idea in action. Many computer makers such as Toshiba, Acer, Lenovo compete with one another based primarily on price. This leads to price war that undermine the computer maker's profit. In contrast, Apple preferred to develop unique feature for its computers, features that have created a fiercely loyal set of customers. Apple boldly charges far more for its computer than its rival for theirs. Apple does not even worry much about whether its computer software is compatible with the software used by most other computers. Rather than fighting a battle with other firms, Apple wins within a computer business by creating its own unique market and by attracting a set of loyal customers. That is what Apple approach is taken right from 500 BC Sun Tzu's Art of War book. Try to understand. In 500 BC, someone talked about that you can win without fighting. Win without fighting is the best, and that is what Apple is doing in the present context. Similarly, the third point, if you look at, is related to the year when we talk about 70 BC. It is talking about 70 BC. Roman poet Virgil tells the story of Trojan horse, a classic strategy ploy where the Greek forces hid a select number of soldiers in large wooden horse that the Trojan army took into their heavily guarded city gates. Once inside the city, Greek soldiers were able to open the gate and allow in reinforcement, which eventually led to the war. In modern times, the term Trojan horse refers to gestures that appear on the surface to be beneficial to the recipient but that mask a sinister intent. Computer viruses also are sometimes referred as Trojan horses. Similarly, in case of strategy in ancient time, let us go to the last point which talks about 530 CE. King Arthur rules Britain. Legend says he make his fame around table so that no one including him would be seen as above the others. His mission to find the Holy Grail services as an exemplar for the importance of the central mission to guide the organization objective. Today, the choice of furniture in modern executive suites is perhaps revealing. Most feature rectangular meeting tables, perhaps signaling that one person, the chief executive officer, is in charge. From this, let us try to get connected with 1491, 500 BC, 70 BC, and 530 CE. The concept which is quite old are now being connected, and you can see that the relevance of that older days can be brought into the present context. That is what is the first part of evolution of strategic management. Let us move to the strategic second part of strategic management, evolution of strategic management, and we discussed it related to the second point which we are going to discuss is classic military strategies. Strategic management often borrows lessons as well as metaphors from classic military strategy. For example, major business decisions are often categorized as strategic, while some minor decisions such as small changes in price or opening of new location are referred to as tactical decision. So here we come across two important words. One is called as strategic decision, another is called as tactical decisions. Here are few selected examples of classic military strategies that hold insights for strategic decision today. The first, if you look at, is 1532. That is Machiavelli's book. The Prince offers clear recipes for success to government leaders. Some of the book suggestions are quite devious, and word Machiavellian comes to refer to act of deceit and manipulation. Similarly, in the year 1775, in the year of 1775, also it talks about the American Revolution War. This American Revolution War between the United States and Great Britain. The United States and Great Britain begins. Weaker American forces win the war in part by relying on non-traditional tactics such as guerrilla warfare and the strategic targeting of British officers. They also depend on help from the French Navy, illustrating the potential value of strategic alliance. Here, the important words which is related to strategy today is strategic alliance. Two companies come together for their mutual benefit and deliver a product which gives benefit to both of them. That is what strategic alliance comes into picture. In the year 1815, Napoleon defeat at Waterloo demonstrates how spreading resources too thin can result in defeat of even one of the most famed militaries of all time. If resources are not utilized properly, which deals with the present context of strategic management called as resource based view. If it is not utilized properly, you are going to get defeated however strong your militaries could be. Same is applicable for an organization also in today's context. If the present organization does not use their resources in the right way, then the organization is going to fail in the long run. If you look at in the year 1865, the American Civil War ended. Historians consider Confederacy to have led better generals, but the Union possessed greater resources. That means sometimes good strategies simply cannot overcome a stronger adversary. That is what was implemented and is implemented in the present context. In the year 1944, the last part of military strategy in terms of evolution of strategy, following a series of deceptions designed to confuse and fool German forces, the Allies launched D-Day invasion in an effort to liberate Europe from Nazi control. Just try to analyze what is the strategy being used. Strategy as a plan, which was used in the year 1944, is now being used in the today's context. Now, from the Asian military strategy, let us move to the next part and try to understand that how the strategic management as a field of study was developed. Although strategic management has been important throughout the history, but the evolution of strategic management into the field of study has mostly taken place over the past century. A few of the key businesses and academic events that have helped in the field develop are discussed in the chart, which may not be clear, but let us try to put it. Although the strategy has been important throughout the history, strategic management as a field of study has largely developed over the past century. Like, if you look at the first example, in the year 1909, Ford first produces its classical Model T. In 1911, that is what in 1911, which it is talking about, in the year 1911, Frederick W. Taylor publishes the principle of scientific management, which has led to development of the concept of strategic management. In 1912, the precursor to modern strategic management course was created as Harvard Business School under the title Business Policy. In 1925, Root Beer becomes USA's first franchised restaurant chain. In 1959, the Ford Foundation recommends that business school curriculum include a capstone course that integrates knowledge across business field in order to help solve complex problem. And today capstone stimulations or simulations are widely being used. In 1962, Alfred Chandler publishes Strategy and Structure chapters in the history of industrial enterprise. In the year 1962, Sam Walton opens the first Walmart in Arkansas, relying on a strategy that emphasized low price and high level of customer service. In 1980, the Strategic Management Journal was created. 1995, the launch of Amazon.com by founder Jeff Bezos is perhaps the pivotal event in creating internet-based commerce. 1997, Pre-X declares bankruptcy after an investigation reveals that ore samples were salted and the inflated share price were a result of fraud and corruption. Corporate governance today we see. In 2005, Thomas Friedman books The World is Flat and the brief history of the 21st century suggests that many advantages that firm in developed countries like United States take for granted are disappearing. 2010, Walmart becomes the largest company in the world. If you remember in the last session, the ancient Chinese strategy Sun Tzu made it clear that strategic management is part art, but it is also part science. Major steps towards developing the scientific aspect of strategic management were taken in early 20th century by F.W. Taylor. F.W. Taylor published Principles of Scientific Management. The book was response to Taylor's observation that most tasks within the organization are organized haphazardly, and Taylor believed that the business would be much more efficient if scientific principles were derived from scientific investigation. And this led to the principles of scientific management, where Taylor stressed how organization would become more efficient through identifying one best way of performing important tasks. Also, in the early 20th century, automobile maker Henry Ford emerged as a pioneer of strategic management among the industrial leaders. At the time, cars seems to be luxury item for wealthy people. Ford adopted a unique strategic perspective, however, and boldly offered the vision that he would make the cars that the average family would afford, and hence the concept of the Ford came regarding the T model. Regarding his company flagship product, the Model T, Ford famously stated any customer can have a car painted any color that he wants so long as it is black. When rival automakers provided customer with variety of color choices, Ford had no choice but to do the same. Competition made him. Similar the point which we discussed in the year 1912, Harvard University became the first university Harvard University became the first higher education institution to offer a course focused on how business executives could lead their organization to greater success. The approach to maximizing performance within this business policy course was consistent with Taylor's idea. By finding and pursuing this ideal solution, organizing would have the best chance of enjoying success. As such, in the year 1920, A&W Root Beer became the first franchised restaurant chain. As we all are aware, franchising involves an organization granting the right to use its brand name, product, and process to other organizations called as franchisees in exchange for an upfront payment, franchisee fee, and percentage of franchisee's revenue, which is called as royalty. Today, for example, both Subway and McDonald's have more than 30,000 restaurants carrying their brand name. 1920, and in present context, the franchised restaurant chain model is running. Vitthal Kamath, classical example. Joshi Vada, classical example of franchise restaurant chain in the present context. Yevle Amrutulle, again a classical example of the franchised chain system which has come into picture today and the origin in the year 1920s. The acceptance of strategic management as a necessary element of business school program took a major step forward in 1959. A widely circulated report created by Ford Foundation recommended that all the business schools should offer a capstone course. The goal of this course would be to integrate knowledge across different business fields such as marketing, finance, and accounting, and which will help students devise better ideas for addressing the complex business problem. Rather than seeking a one best way solution as advocated by Taylor, Harvard Business Policy course, this capstone course would emphasize students' critical thinking skills in notion that multiple ways of addressing a problem could be equally successful in particular. So, the Ford Foundation report was a key motivator that led US universities to create strategic management course in their undergraduate and Master of Business Administration. In 1962, business and academic events occurred that seemed minor at a time, but the word that would later give rise to huge challenges. Sam Walton opened the first Walmart in Rogers, that is Arkansas, relying on a strategy that emphasized low prices and high levels of customer service. Walmart grew to 882 stores with a combined annual sales of $8.4 billion by 1985. A decade later, it reached to the sales of 93.6 billion across near 3,000 stores. In 2010, Walmart was the largest company in the world. In recent years, Walmart has arguably downplayed customer service in favor of cutting costs. Time will tell whether deviating from Sam Walton's original strategic position will hurt the company or not. In the year 1962, Harvard professor Alfred Chandler published Strategy and Structure. The book describes how strategy and organizational structure need to be consistent with each other to ensure strong, firm performance, a lesson from Moses' team to have mastered during the Hebrews' exodus from Egypt. Many people working in the field of strategic management considered Chandler's book to the first book of strategic management research. In the year 1980, creation of Strategic Management Journal took place. The introduction of the journal offered a forum for researchers interested in building knowledge about strategic management, but much like important new medical findings appear in the Journal of American Medical Association. Second pivotal event in the 1980 was publication of Competitive Strategy: Techniques for Analyzing Industries and Competitors by Harvard professor Michael Porter. This book brought concepts such as five forces analysis, generic strategy that continue to strongly influence how executives choose strategies more than 30 years after the book's publication. Similarly, many consumers today take the web-based shopping for granted. But this channel for commerce was created less than 2 decades ago. 1995 launch of Amazon by founder Jeff Bezos was perhaps the pivotal event in creating internet-based commerce. In pursuit of his vision to be Earth's most customer-centric company, Amazon has diversified far beyond its original focus on selling books and involved in dominant retailers. Powerful giants have stumbled badly in Amazon's wake. Sears has sold great variety of goods through catalog for many decades, has had Eaton's. Neither firm created a strong-line presence to keep with Amazon, and both eventually dropped their catalog business. That is, some of your product range has to become obsolete. You need to come up with new products which will further satisfy the customers. As often with old and large firms, Sears and Eaton were outmoded by creative and versatile upstarts. Eaton's went bankrupt in the year 1999, and in 2014, Sears is under bankruptcy protection in the United States. That is what we need to put across. Similarly, looking to the future, it appears likely that strategic management will prove to be strategic management would prove to be more important. In response, researchers who are interested in strategic management will work to build additional knowledge about organization and maximize their performances. Must leverage the insights that history offers on how to be successful while trying to avoid the history mistakes. Moving forward, let us try to look into the context of the international origin specified to strategic management. Dr. Igor Ansoff was considered as a father of strategic management. If you look at his career, in the year 1956 to 57, for 1 year, he worked as a planning specialist in Lockheed Aircraft Corporation. In the same company, got promoted as a director diversification task force and worked till the year 1960. Got again promoted as vice president plans and program and served it for the year 1960-61. And in the year 1961, he was vice president and general manager industrial technology division for the same Lockheed Electric company. To be more precise, he was the person who was named as a founder of the concept of strategic management because he was the first to coin the strategic planning in the year 1965 and later on the strategic management in the year 1972. Moreover, he was first to introduce the umbrella concept, suggesting that different solutions are needed under different levels of turbulence of the environment. This solution includes business and corporate level strategies. Moreover, his contribution was towards empirically validated theories proven in thousands of situations around the world related to strategic management. Similarly, till then, the growing relevance of strategic management also initiated in India. If you look at the points which we talk about, like the first, in the early years, BHEL realized that the future business growth would not come through providing total service to the customer by developing system integration and service capability. The most successful integration of two corporations created stronger engineering enterprise to meet the greater future challenges. Equally important was creation of in-house visioning and long-term planning capability to meet technology and market changes. After intense consultations with the stakeholders and benchmarking with global leaders, the company brought out a corporate plan in the year 1974 and the month was March. This was the major step in the history of BHEL and galvanized the organization for rapid growth and development. It laid the foundation for creating a truly enterprise and was landmark in the corporate history of India. It did not stop here. In mid 80s, service sectors had picked up and had catapulted in the 90s. With issues coming before it and providing the required direction to the evolution of telecom, Indian landlines started facing very stiff competition from cellular operator. And for cellular operator, pricing strategy of per second billing has taken place and the price war began in the telecom sector, which again led to analyzing the importance of strategic management. Similarly, a PSU named Indian Telephone Industries Limited, which is commonly known as ITI, is a central government owned manufacturer of telecom equipment in India, founded in the year 1948 and today has six manufacturing facilities which produce a range of switching, transmission, access, and subscriber premises equipment. ITI Limited is a public sector company undertaking the telecommunication technology segment. Dear students, after 72 years, today the company has diversified, which has helped the company to generate profits in the future. In today, as of now, that is how the company has moved from red to green and is successfully the classical example of implementation of strategic management. In 1991, LPG came into force. That is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. By disinvestment, by withdrawal of government ownership and management of public sector crisis of 1991, and Indian economic refers towards independence and integration of world as a whole, it started by setting various strategic policies. So in Indian context, the strategic management has evolved from BHEL to ITI telecom sectors, and in 1991 LPG has led more inclusion of the term strategy in the corporate world and in the Indian company. That is what would conclude me to make you understand how the strategic management has evolved from the ancient times to military, and then we looked at some corporate examples, moved down to the international context and tried to analyze with respect to